What is up, nipple suckers? Imagine if I just stole all of like Denny Does It's like shit, like just his catchphrases, everything he does. Like that'd be kind of hilarious because I would just be doing it. He would never know. Welcome to the Pork Roll Call with Hank Marino. I'm Hank Marino. You may know me as other names. Sneakyseabear is a popular one of mine. Hello. Welcome back, episode 2. The first one was very short. They're most likely going to stay around that size because I think half an hour is a pretty good time to just talk about nothing at all. If I sound a little bit weird, the thing in my ear is delayed. My AirPods are not charged, and it's the only time I have to record. So, you'll deal with it. So, like usual, well, like last time, I'm going to start off with opening a beer that I either haven't had before or haven't had before on the show. So this is going to be pretty easy because I stopped at the liquor store on the way from work, which is where I'm coming from. I'm going to go to the gym after this, which is why I'm dressed like this again. And it is a local beer. I'm going to stick with locals for a while. So this is an Asbury Park Fest. Sorry. It was created for Oktoberfest and it was still on sale. So I grabbed it. Let's see how it looks like. I like this. It's fine. So this is Asbury Park Brewery Fest. You can't see it. It's fine. Has a little seahorse on it. That's the Asbury Park Brewery logo. I have a shirt from them, a Pride shirt from them in the closet somewhere. But this is a lager. It is 5.9% alcohol, 16 fluid ounces. The little caption on the bottom says, "This Oktoberfest isn't your normal Blitzkrieg Bop. Munich-style lager, brewed with a deep caramel body and the Marzen tradition. Prost." I butchered that. It's fine. It's good. Oh, God. Maybe I don't like beer. I don't know what's happening to me. It's good, but maybe I've just had better. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Anyway, hi. Hank Marino, hello. I just came back from Ottawa, Ontario, up in Canada. And it was fun. I went to see my boyfriend Bailey. He lives like an hour and a half, maybe a little more than that, away from Ottawa via train. So I flew in, we hung out, went to Winterlude because this past weekend was very snowy. So everything froze over. Well, most of the canal froze over. So there was skating on the canal, ice skating. There were beaver tails on the canal, like on the physical canal, like on the frozen river. It was cool. It was really cool. Very like touristy, but it was fun. Who doesn't love doing touristy shit once in a while, right? I love doing touristy shit once in a while, especially in a new city. Never gone to Ottawa before. I am gonna say this about Canada. I was gonna get me in trouble. I know a lot of Canadians really, really like to define themselves by how not America they are, which is weird to me because everything I know about Canada now, dating Canadian and being really exposed to the culture and the idiosyncrasies of Canada, it's very different from the States, like inherently so, very different. However, I saw people protesting in Ottawa, holding American flags, Trump 2024 flags, as well as just like Canadian flags, shit of that nature. Turns out we went to Ottawa on the anniversary of the truck rally. Don't know why that happened. That was a complete accident. If you don't know what the truck rally is, you should probably watch the news a little more. But essentially, a year and a few days ago, I guess, because it was the year anniversary when I was there, there were a bunch of truckers that originally were going to protest for like fair pay and all of that. And it seems like the right wing of the country kind of just overtook that. And then it all became a protest about like socialism and fuck that. And we want Trump. No, this is Ottawa. This is Canada. Y'all don't vote for Trump. Y'all don't vote at all in the American elections. It's very weird. Regardless, Ottawa was nice. Not a lot to do in the city when it comes to like, oh, a city like I don't expect Ottawa to be New York because I don't. Why would you do that? It's not New York City. I keep looking at the fucking screen. I'm so sorry. Y'all gotta have to deal with it if you're watching this on TikTok or something. It's still better than fucking Indianapolis. Whew. However, I'm sorry to Indianapolis, but like, I really am not. Like, get public transit, get a better nightlife. Yeah. Anyway, it's still a city. It's a cute city. It's not New York City. If you want that in Canada, go to Montreal, go to Toronto, you know, but Ottawa definitely seemed like the place where you kind of just chilled and relaxed and enjoyed the small things, the small movements that were going around, and that was really all you needed. Very different from going to Montreal. The times I have gone to Montreal, it's been very much like, as someone who grew up in New Jersey next to New York City, going to New York City since I was a fucking kid on my own, Montreal seemed like a cleaner Canadian version of New York City. There's really no other way to like say it, but that's really how Montreal felt like. As opposed to Ottawa, Ottawa kind of felt like if Westfield, New Jersey was like a city. That's not meant to be a read, but like it kind of is. But like that's how it felt like. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm used to New York City. I'm used to Philadelphia. I'm used to the northeastern coast of the States. Ottawa kind of did feel like a big Westfield. And like, I enjoyed it because we got to relax and chill and just hang out with each other, and it was a good time. But I wasn't going into it expecting New York City or expecting like Philadelphia. I was going into it expecting Westfield, New Jersey. And I got Westfield, New Jersey, but Canadian. So it was nice. Let me try this beer again. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, honestly. Usually I like Asbury Park Brewery stuff. The design is really cool. Little seahorse. Yeah. Yeah, the thing I like about Asbury Park Brewery is that that it was founded by local musicians. I don't know who they are, who they were, but I know that's what their advertising says. And if there's one thing I know about advertising, is it never lies to you. I do want to stick to more local beers for the next few episodes, at least until like I find more beers to just drink. I am gonna have an episode where I just drink a 40. Like, truly, like I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna have this microphone on a stand somewhere, and I'm gonna be doing Edward 40 hands, and y'all just gonna watch. And I'm gonna talk while I have like these things taped on my hands, and you're just gonna have to suffer through it. I'm gonna have to suffer through it too, so that's fine. So a while back, and I may have said this last episode, but I made a TikTok that says something along the lines of, if you don't have a persona, I can't trust you. And like, it was obviously meant to be a joke, but like it kind of also wasn't, because like, you really have never thought about what animal you would be if you were to be an animal, like, ever. You sure? Like, you've never thought about it? And then like you've had that animal in your head, and you're like, oh, you know what, like if I was an animal, like if someone asked you that question, do you have a response ready? Do you have a response ready? You're a few steps away from being a furry, dude. You're so close. You are so close. People under like the post were saying, oh, that's a spirit animal. And I'm like, I don't like using the term spirit animal. It's not, it's just, for complicated reasons, it's just not something I like to say. And they're like, oh, how about that's just a Patronus? And I'm like, I'm not going to quote J.K. Rowling. Absolutely not. No, thank you. So I just stuck with persona. That's exactly what we're talking about. What animal do you connect with? What animal do you see yourself as if you were an animal? Is that not what a persona is to an extent? Obviously, there's more to it. But like, is that not what a persona is to an extent? You know what I mean? A lot of people said, oh, well, I have an idea, but I never got it commissioned because I'm poor and I can't draw. And like, you don't have to have it commissioned to have a persona. You can just have the idea, create the character, and that automatically is your persona. You don't need to have a visual representation of it. You could if you wanted to. I've gotten mine commissioned so many times. And that's only because I have a little bit of disposable income. So I could just do that. But if you don't need to do that to be a fucking furry. In fact, a lot of you are probably furries and you don't even know it. All this to say, right, that yes, that was a joke to an extent. But I don't know. I feel like everyone should at least have an answer to that question. Like, what animal would you be if you were an animal? Like, if you were to take your essence and just put it down to a very specific, like you. Take whatever makes you you. That was very loud, I'm sorry. Take whatever makes you you and make it into an animal. Play God for a second. Tell me, what animal would you choose? That's almost your persona. Just go with it. It's fine. A side persona by Hank. At Hank. A side persona at Pork Roll Call. Over the weekend that I was in Canada, my boyfriend showed me a drawing that one of his friends, who's also a furry, she drew of his persona, and it's so good. It's fantastic. I saw it and I'm like, this is you. Like, this is like, this may be a Wolverine, but that Wolverine is fucking you. Like, everything about you is in this picture. And it was cool because it really did look like him. And I'm like, oh shit, there you go. Like, that's what your persona is, because what you wanted it to be. And I felt that same thing whenever I've had people like draw like my persona, like Hank as a boar, right? Like, and it's a really nice feeling of being like, oh, that's actually yeah, that's me. You're like, wow. It's also just cool to see like people make art. That shit is art. Like, I know furries get shit on a lot because it's like, oh, this is just all sexual for you, which, like, if it is, kind of, who the fuck cares? Because, like, are you having sex with them? Then why do you care? But also sometimes it really is just the artwork. I remember when I used to say that. I remember I was like, I just like the artwork. I think the artwork's just really cute. It's really like intricate. Fast forward to me jacking off to. I'm not putting that in. I'm kidding. I'm gonna leave it in, but I'm not gonna finish that. I honestly just think furries are shat on a lot for no fucking reason. It's like, oh no, they're cringe. So is half the world, dude. The idea of cringe in your head is just you being a bully to people who are just showing some kind of joy because you've forgotten how to feel joy. So is it cringe, or are they just free and you're trapped in the incarceration of your own brain? I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. Don't listen to me. You remember that song by 303, Don't Trust Me? Has that line, don't trust a hoe? I'm the hoe. That's not the camera. I'm the hoe. I'm so sorry. This whole episode is going to be me just not looking at the camera. So just prepare yourself. Also, if you saw the previous episode, like online, on TikTok or whatever, and you're like, this quality is really shitty, I'm recording on an old webcam. Not too old, but like definitely over 5 to 6 years old. I've also been off my Adderall for a good I've been off my Adderall for like a week and a half because of the shortage. I finally got the bottle of Adderall, but I couldn't take it today because I got it at like 2 p.m. And if you take it after like 12, you just don't sleep. You just don't fucking sleep. So that kind of sucks. So with the whole furry thing, right? I had some people be like, "Oh, it's obvious what your persona is," and the comments underneath that comment were like, "Oh yeah, it's obviously a bear. It's obviously a bear." Mind you, my name on TikTok is Boar Tank Hank because it's specifically like a like furry adjacent account, and it's Boar Tank Hank, and they're like, "Oh, you're obviously a bear." Excuse me, it's in the name. I understand that a lot of you may be young, maybe under the age of like 20, because it is an 18 plus page. Y'all better not be under the age of 18. But can you read? I don't know. It feels, ooh, that's not good. I need a new cable. It just feels kind of weird because like it's there. It's in the name. You know, that's my persona. It's always been my persona ever since like I was 16. Well, 18 really. So like, you know, what is that? Well, why can't you read? But a lot of people were like, well, obviously you're a bear because you're a bear. If you didn't get that, obviously your persona is a bear because you are a gay bear, a heavy-set, hairy dude who's gay, which makes you a bear. And like that's the thing about the label bear, because yeah, it is a community. That's what it was, you know, created for, right? To an extent, but like it's also just a label of a body. Like it's just how you look. So a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm not a bear. I'm not a bear. I'm not a bear. but like you're a heavyset dude who is hairy and who is queer. By description, you're a bear. Like that's just kind of the way that a lot of words work. And even if you don't resonate with the label of a bear, it's also a descriptor, not just like an identifier. So you know what I mean? Which also reminds me, again, sorry, no Adderall. Which also reminds me, a lot of people, whenever I bring up the bear community, they really want me to talk about like racism in the community. They're like, can you talk about the racism in the bear community? I've said this before and I'll say it again. No. I'm not doing that. And the main reason is because I've been online, even though some of you may not know this, I've been online in bear circles making content, talking about shit since around 2013. So around 11 years or so. And racism in the bear community was a big part of what I would talk about. And it continued to be, really honestly, until like a few years ago, when I kind of decided, okay, I'm done talking about this. And here's the main reason, right? And you need to follow along with what I'm saying. Don't put words in my mouth. Everything I'm saying is going to be very intentional from now on, at least for the next few minutes. Is the bear community racist? We know that's yes. We know that's true. Historically, it's been the case. Even though the flag is supposed to also signify different skin colors, we know that the reality is very different. This has been written down and documented in fucking books from the late 90s and early 2000s, because I read gay history books, which is something that I like doing. So, what happens when we know that this is true? Do we then go do our own thing? We could. Do we fix what's already existing? We could. These are two very valid reactions, and reactions that could happen, but even more, they have happened. Like, there is a reason why there are specifically like POC big boy events and groups all over the country. Happens in Atlanta, Big Boy Pride. Happens in New York City, Heft Party, specifically a party for people of color who are larger dudes. Like, these are things that are happening, right? And it's also very location specific. So again, I said Atlanta. I said New York City. Whenever I think of the bear community that I know and love from New York City, honestly, like, I don't think of mostly white people. I think of a lot of people of color. Because that's just the reality of what it's like to live in New York City, as opposed to living somewhere where that may not be the case. Now I'm getting too deep into it, but I'm already in this. Let's finish the conversation. So the reason why I don't talk about it on the internet anymore, at least not on TikTok, is because we all know. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing to either carve the space out for ourselves or to take the space that exists and burst through it? And I don't talk about that anymore because it's already being done, and it's something that I've been personally doing in person for a long time. So like, am I gonna say, oh, the bear community is racist? Yeah, historically, absolutely, and no one's gonna deny that, obviously. And are POC carving their own way in the community, either by making their own spaces or creating a space from what already exists? Yes. And if you're not seeing it, you're not involved. Or at least not in the places where it's happening. Because, again, it's all very location specific. Everything is nuanced, y'all. That's why I don't want to talk about it. Because TikTok does not give me enough time or space for nuance. And I could go on like this for a long time. But I'm not going to. Because what I say last episode, we're not going to get into serious topics on here. Even though this is a very serious topic, and I did want to just mention it at the very least. That's not what this is about. This is about the fact that the bear community is really just a bunch of hairy fat guys. And in fact, hairy isn't even necessarily a part of it. It could be, necessarily. I love being gay. It's fantastic. Sometimes we'll talk about institutional shit that truly hurts us, that truly damages our psyche and our communities, and other times we'll be like, I just want to do poppers. And you know what? Let's be honest. Both of those things are not just valid, but necessary. We all need to have the serious discussions, and we all need to do poppers once in a while. Coming from someone who doesn't ever do poppers. Is this okay to talk about on the internet? I don't know anymore. I am slowly getting more used to this one. I think I just really haven't had Asbury Park brewery beer in a long time. Probably since I was last in Asbury Park, which was this summer. Yeah. Asbury Park, by the way, is in New Jersey. Also a pretty gay town. It's been gay for a long time. It started getting gentrified over the past 10 years or so, so now it's like the way it is. But it's always been gay. It's always been gay. Again, I keep saying no serious topics, but how do you not do that when literally that is what life is? I'm gonna shit myself right now. Okay, so I'm gonna change out this headpiece for my AirPods. Give me 1 second. I'm also gonna look at the fucking camera. All right, hold on. Bad news, boys. The AirPods didn't charge. My cable's broken. So we're gonna stick with the thing in my ear that's gonna delay everything I say by what, like 30 seconds? 5 seconds? Imagine 30 seconds. 5 seconds. Nice. All right. I have a question. Are any of you bilingual? I just posted about this on TikTok, but I think it's a really interesting thing. A lot of people, I feel like, outside of America, and even in America, forget that a lot of Americans are bilingual to some extent. Like, even if it's just basic, simple shit, we usually know enough to, like, get through the day. And there are areas of this country where they will just speak Spanish too. You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool. Like, it's really cool living in a very multilingual area of the world. Again, New York City, New Jersey, people here, I always say this, if you want to live here, you should obviously learn English, but you should also learn Spanish. And if you want to really get to talk to everyone, you should learn Hindi or Gujarati. 100%. I do not know Hindi or Gujarati. I'm really great with languages if I have like a base for them, and I have no base for Gujarati other than the several people in my like high school and throughout my life that spoke it fluently. I should give it another shot. Anyway, so here's my thing, right? I speak English and Spanish fluently. I grew up in a bilingual household. I obviously speak English. Hello, I'm talking to you right now in English. And my mom and dad and my grandma especially only spoke Spanish. My mom and dad are bilingual, but my grandma just spoke Spanish. So I always had to like know what I was saying, and I was able to keep up with it. That being said, that means that I'm fully bilingual. I have a job where I use both Spanish and English really, really frequently. Because of the kind of job that I do in healthcare, it's very useful. And because of the areas that we have offices in, everyone is bilingual, English and Spanish. Like you have to be. Because like if you're going to offer healthcare to the general population, and a lot of your population speaks both English and Spanish, and some of them may be more comfy speaking in Spanish when it comes to health stuff, you should learn Spanish, right? Here's the thing. I look like how I look, all right? Obviously, if you stop me in the street, you're going to be like, this man speaks Spanish. Well, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be so obvious, but it is to everyone else, apparently. So when I went to pick up my Adderall, right, I go to this specific pharmacy in a very specific area of the state, which is owned by my job. So because of the insurance reasons, I have to pick up my medication from there. See what I mean? This thing is fucking me up. I walk in. Everyone there is speaking Spanish. The people who are, the pharmacies, the pharmacists, the farm techs, everyone who is like doing a customer-facing job is speaking Spanish as well as English. And I go up to the counter to pick up my medication, and the first thing that the person at the counter tells me is "Hola, señor, cómo está?" Like, "Hi, sir, how are you?" And I have to answer in Spanish because she just talked to me in Spanish. She's around my age. She has to be around like 24, 25. Now, I'm 30, but still, like, that's around my age. Leave me alone. So I just answer. I'm just like, "Hola, estoy bien. Estoy aquí para recoger mi medicamento." "Hi, I'm good. I'm here to pick up my medication." And she goes, "Oh, es para Descovy." So is it for the Descovy? Descovy, if you don't know, is like Truvada, one of the pills that you can take for PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis, so you don't catch HIV if you're having sex. I kindly call it the gay pill because it is the gay pill. Let's be frank. So I was like, no, no es para Descovy. It's not for Descovy. And I said, es para el Adderall. I didn't say es para el Adderall. Es para mi ADHD. However you say it in Spanish, I don't know. I said, es para el Adderall. So she hears this. She sees me and she's like, oh, for the Adderall? Okay, give me a second. I got you. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I could have done the whole thing in Spanish. Absolutely. But the second she heard me say the word Adderall with the most American pronunciation, she's like, oh, this dude speaks English. I speak English too. I'm sure he probably feels more comfortable speaking English, which I don't really care. But she switched to English like that. And I was like, okay, English, I guess. Adderall. Es para el Adderall. Christ. Jesus fucking. Yo, so many people on TikTok think I don't speak Spanish. They're like, oh, you're just another no sabo kid. Sorry. You're just another no sabo kid. They're like, oh, obviously, because, and just to clarify, these are Latin Americans who are saying this, okay? So that tells you enough. They're like, oh, well, you live in the States, you grew up in the States, so obviously you don't speak Spanish. And it's like, tú no entiendes cuánta gente que habla español. Tú no entiendes. Do you not understand how many people here speak Spanish as their first language? It's crazy. And again, Spanish isn't my only other language. I can kind of speak French. I can read Japanese and Russian. You know what I mean? Like, I like languages. So to people to like come to my fucking TikTok page and be like, you're a no sabo kid, I have to be like, first of all, what's wrong with being a no sabo kid? Do you know why that happens? And second of all, I'm not, and I will curse you out in Spanish. Sorry. Listen, I am Latin American. I am from Peru. I do speak Spanish, but I'm from New Jersey. First and foremost, my personality is very Jersey. We were watching the Hermit Crab Jersey Shore movie starring Keke Palmer. All of that sounds like a fever dream. It's the real fucking thing. But they really, like, tried to hide it. Like, they didn't give it any promotion at all. Okay, sorry. Keke Palmer and Michael Cera starred in the Jersey Shore Hermit Crab movie. I am shitting my pants right now. We sat on the couch, me and a bunch of my friends in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it was me and my friend Anthony, who's from North Jersey, my boyfriend Benjamin, who grew up near where I did in Central Jersey, and we're watching this, and we're just like in awe. And of course, like all our family friends are like, "Oh, are you insulted?" And me and Anthony were like, "Yes, but also we have no right to be because they got everything right." It was. What movie is going to use the word Benny and Shuby accurately? Except for the Jersey Shore Hermit Crab movie starring Keke Palmer and Michael Cera. What the fuck is the word? Like, I was one of the kids that didn't watch Jersey Shore at first because I was like, oh, that's not an accurate representation of New Jersey. I was like 15 years old. Leave me alone. However, then I turned 18. That shit's fully accurate, dude. Absolutely. Every single part of Jersey Shore is 100% how I would have behaved or how I did behave at some point in my life. I don't think now I would do that because I'm 30. But, like, come on. What I'm saying is, please watch the Hermit Crab Jersey Shore movie starring Keke Palmer and Michael Cera. It's really stupid. It's really good. It's a musical. It's a musical. Someone please help me. Like, I need y'all to know, like, I am going to do a lot of yelling on this podcast, and a lot of it is just because, like, I'm a loud person, usually, but also, it's because I grew up where I grew up. I'm sorry. I hate being the guy to confirm stereotypes, but it is kind of true. I don't know. But welcome to New Jersey. And this isn't even specifically the shore, either, because, like, everyone on Jersey Shore, well, not everyone, that's a lie. If people tell you everyone, they're lying to you. A good half, if not most of the crew of Jersey Shore were from New York City, were from Staten Island. So they weren't necessarily from New Jersey. But like Snooki was fully from Central Jersey, fully from Manalapan, I think. I'm not sure. Don't fact check me. But like, there were people from New Jersey there. And like, I'll be honest, like when I was watching the Jersey Shore Hermit Crab movie starring Michael Cera and Keke Palmer, I turned to Anthony and I was like, that crab over there, that like lady crab, I know her, like in real life. Like I've seen her several times throughout my fucking life. Like I know her name, and her name is Denise. Her name is Denise. I'm sorry, Zach, if you ever see this. I'm sorry I used your mom's name, but it's the first thing that came in my head. I'm sorry. She is, in fact, very Jersey, though. Like, we're all very Jersey. Let's be frank. I truly think it's really funny, though, whenever people think about New Jersey, they really just think about Jersey Shore. But, like, yeah, like, a lot of them aren't from New Jersey, etc., etc. But hold on. Let me fix the chair, because the chair is starting to fall apart. You're going to hear static. It's the cable microphone thing that I got to fix. We're good, baby. A lot of people do think of the Jersey Shore when it comes to New Jersey. And like a part of it, yeah, absolutely. Think of it, because like, let's be frank, it's a fun reality show, isn't it? Watching messy people do messy shit. Come on. Who doesn't live for the drama? Who doesn't live for the chisme? Come on. Come on. We all love it. However, New Jersey, traditionally speaking, has 3 areas of the state. Don't argue with me. Don't argue. Traditionally, there is 3. There is North. Don't argue with me. There are 3. North Jersey, South Jersey, and Central. I said don't argue with me. And Central Jersey, traditionally. However, now here you can argue with me, but I think most of y'all are going to agree, because everyone I've talked to who's from the state has agreed with me. New Jersey has 6 to 7 true regions, and it's not just North, Central, South. It really is Hudson County as its own region, right? And some of like the Bergen County suburbs that are like really close to Hudson County. Then you have North Jersey, which is what you would think, like Bergen County, most of Passaic County, the like top half of Union, like all that shit. North Jersey. Then you got, here's where I get freaky. West Jersey. I think West Jersey is its own thing. I call it West Jersey. It's really Northwest Jersey, but like traditionally, before it became like North, Central, South, it was West Jersey. So that includes essentially Warren County, certain parts of Hunterdon County, like certain high parts of Hunterdon County, certain parts of Sussex County, certain parts of Passaic County even, you know what I mean? Like the area where you can go there and you really can't tell if you're in New Jersey or if you've entered the Poconos yet, or if like you're just somewhere in the mountains and you have no cell phone service and you're a little bit scared because you see a lot of Trump flags and you're a person of color and you're like, maybe I shouldn't live here, but the housing is affordable for a reason. That shit is West Jersey. Then you got Central Jersey, which I define as, don't argue with me, I define as anything below Newark or Elizabeth, depending on who I'm talking to, truly. Because Elizabeth, you could consider it North Jersey, but it's also, it kind of has Central Jersey vibes. So, but like all of that area, Westfield, Cranford, all of that. On the other side, you have Middlesex County really as a whole, Somerset County almost entirely as a whole as well. The eastern part of Hunterdon County, like essentially, if you meet someone and they're like, oh, I've got to party at Rutgers. Yeah, they're probably from Central Jersey, or they know someone who goes to school at Rutgers, which could be anyone in the state. Anyway, so I think that's its own region. And I think what defines it really is just diversity, suburbia, and drunk college students. Obviously, there's more than that, but like those are the main 3. It's also the part where like everything kind of gets confused when it comes to like sports teams. Like everyone knows I'm an Eagles dude. Everyone knows I'm an Eagles dude. And they're like, why the fuck are you an Eagles dude? Like, you didn't. Well, because the area that I grew up in, New Jersey, was very even in between the Eagles and the Jets, or the Eagles and the other New York football teams that I don't want to fucking name. I'm sorry. Because I grew up where I grew up, I was just kind of allowed to choose. And all my friends liked the Eagles, and eventually the people who were into sports that I met as an adult were all Eagles fans. It kind of makes sense for me to just continue rooting for the Eagles. Here we are. But I know people who go for fucking anyone, right? It's also the place where most of us will still say pork roll. That's why this name of the show is Pork Roll, the Pork Roll Call. We usually don't say Taylor ham unless you start getting more up north. Like the north part of Central Jersey, you'll have people be like, what do you mean pork roll? You mean Taylor ham? You know what I mean? But usually in Central Jersey, it's usually pork roll. And then you keep going down. I think Central Jersey is more of a diagonal rather than like a circle. You know what I mean? Or like a straight line. So I think Central Jersey ends right at Princeton on one end. Or you can include Trenton. I would include Trenton in that because it is technically the center of New Jersey. However, it is much more influenced by Philly, and that I would consider South Jersey. So it depends on who you ask. Why am I holding this? And then for the other side of the state, I would say South Amboy still counts. Manalapan still counts. You know what I mean? But I carve out the entire shore as its own region. The shore, the Jersey Shore, not the show, but the actual region of New Jersey, has its own fucking culture aside from everything else in the state. If you want to divide it even more, there's two subregions of the North Jersey Shore and the South Jersey Shore. Do you call them Bennies or do you call them Shoobies? But it's its own fucking culture. It's an own culture altogether. Then you get like South Jersey, which is South Jersey. So that's what Hudson County, North Jersey, West Jersey, Central Jersey, South Jersey, the shore. I personally also include the suburbs right outside of Philadelphia, which I guess does include Trenton, as its own little mini region because they're so culturally attached to Philly in a very unique way, very similar to how Hudson County is attached to New York City in a very specific way. And I think now I'm recognizing that more and more just because I'm spending more time in Philadelphia than I used to. And I'm just seeing that happen. I don't know what to do with Salem County. One time I was in Pennsville, New Jersey, seeing someone who I saw one time, an old friend that I lost contact with, unfortunately. And it was very weird because it didn't feel like New Jersey. It didn't even feel like the North. It truly felt like a very cartoony experience of what I assume people from the 1990s who think they're super liberal think the South is like. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. It was weird. I saw a lot of Confederate flags. I got followed in a store because I guess they were stealing. It was weird. I got eyes on me at all times. It was strange. I wouldn't go back there again, but it is a part of the state. So there you go. You gotta acknowledge it. I have a friend who was like, why is New Jersey so small and yet you say has all these regions? It's because New Jersey is the most like densely populated state in the country. Like, you're thinking, oh, but what about New York? No, New York City is densely populated. New York State is not. All of New Jersey is densely populated. So like that's why there's so many regions, sub-regions, subcultures, and it's really, really cool to like just go through the state with someone who's never been here before, and they're like, is this still New Jersey? And I'm like, yeah, you thought it was just the shore, huh? The shore of New York City. No, there's so much more to this. I promise this won't all just be about New Jersey. This is just kind of what I think because I'm drinking and I'm annoying and I'm gay. Actually, to bring it full circle, when I was in Ottawa, we stopped by Zach's, the diner that's there. And I love going to diners when I'm not in New Jersey because it's truly a different experience. The server who was helping us out, she was like, I'm seeing the Canada theme going on because I ordered like the Canada maple shake and the Canada pancakes. I don't know. I wanted like a lot of sweets that morning and it was all like maple flavored. And I was like, no, yeah, tourist time. I'm gonna be a tourist if I'm here. And she was like, oh, where are you guys from? Haley was like, oh, I'm from so and so. He's from nearby. He's not really a tourist. And I go, oh, I'm from New Jersey. And she goes, enjoy. What does that mean? What does that mean? Enjoy? What does that mean? I don't. Can someone explain to me what the fuck she meant? I don't know. But I was like, okay, thank you. And then I had the food. It was delicious. It was great. But fuck. This is why you have people from Jersey saying that they're from New York City. Because they want to try and distance themselves from New Jersey as much as possible when they don't need to. I don't do it. I always say I grew up next to New York City, which is true. I always say I grew up going to New York City, which is also true. You know what I don't say? I don't say I'm from the city. Because I'm not. Because I'm very much from Jersey. You can tell. At the end of the day, we all live in places. Isn't that great? We all live in places. Anyway, this has gone on for too long. I am going to go have food. I realized I have not eaten today. And I had a beer, which wasn't very strong, but no food in a beer. Listen, I may be a big dude, 335 pounds. I still get drunk, so I'm going to get food. So have a good day. Thank you for listening. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.